minding my business. You start to look around and I couldn't believe this. I swear, I stared. My niece, my witness.
Why are
the
you
brother
doing
had
this
it
to us?
going
Why
on
are you
something
doing
kind of.
People can hear you. People can hear you.
Yeah, I know. They can
You
hear the
don't mean to
music
be
too.
doing
You
that.
can't hear the music.
No, I know. So yeah, it's a cruel trick. You do karaoke, headphone
Yeah,
karaoke,
yeah,
and then turn
yeah,
the music off.
exactly.
And you're like, yeah.
All right, welcome to Fanfiction Theater. We are going to finally wrap up Ultimate Betrayal tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll do, we've got another Steve Plank and we've got Love or Lust, and that should fill out the evening, I imagine. I'm Tristan from Quip Tracks. With me is Michael T. Bradley from Ice on Mars. We cannot hear you, Michael.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
But so just imagine the silence that you're now hearing is none other than Michael T. Bradley. Spared no expense. But yeah, we've got Quinn from Quip Tracks.
Hello.
We've got Kevin from Quip Tracks.
Hello.
And Tracy. Do we have Tracy from Quip Tracks?
Test.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay. Okay. And there's Michael as well. And we've got Drew from Drawback Productions.
Ingenue, is that something?
Wait,
I'm trying to think of Cobalt Vixen alternates, like the Meridian Temptress.
Did you say Indigo Ingenue?
Yeah, does that count?
Okay. That's
She's
pretty
not
good.
that Cobalt anyway, so I thought we could really stretch that.
It's one of those words that you can't quite tell as an alliteration unless you see it spelled out, but I like it. I like it.
Hey, all right. I'll be doing that in my mind for all 27 Cobalt Vixens.
Right.
I'm ready.
Right. Well, the next chapter
I should
is
probably get a glass of wine if we're doing that.
Just to make sure people can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
we can hear you now.
Okay,
yes.
okay. You couldn't. You didn't hear me sing along with you to Shoop. That's very sad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're all sad.
Heartbroken is the term.
It's the biggest pain of 2020 and 2021 combined so far.
I thought the biggest pain of 2021 was Nibbles turning out to be evil.
Yeah, that's
gone to second place.
Especially after
yes,
you'd written that beautiful rap about him.
Yeah. Crushed. I'm still holding out hope, though. He could still be a double crosser.
Right.
Oh, damn it. I forgot to give you notes on Pikachu for this. I will quickly Discord type out a couple of notes for you.
Okay.
And Kevin is Vampire Jamal. And Kitty is Jade. I don't know if Jade has any lines in this one.
We're actually starting with this partially because she has to work for a half hour. So
okay.
We'll just give that to whoever.
All right. I thought you would want to hear the ending, but that's all right.
Well, she'll hear it, just not live.
Michael is so hurt.
Well, no, it's just I could have sworn 1 week we had to push back starting Pokemon because she was working late. So,
well, did she still have a voice in it? Whatever. What happened? We don't want another situation where we read pedophile monkeys fanfics, which is what happened at that time.
All right, monkeys with 2 E's. Gotcha.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. You know, I
any kind
part
of
me
monkey,
thinks,
but
part of me thinks that what we should do is do like a really intense synopsis of what's come before in preparation for this final chapter, and then in less than 2 minutes stop it and be like, no, let's switch over to Jurassic Park now.
Yep, exactly.
Oh man. But yeah, do you want to do some sort of recap? Or
Yeah,
Let me
the
see if
synopsis
I
is a good
can
idea.
sum it up. Ultimate Betrayal, Sweet Revenge was a fan fiction that we read for a long time when we started this channel, and it involved everybody in Ash's life telling him to give up his dreams of being a Pokemon master. He took it badly and took over the Silverhood region and created a tournament that would draw all of those people to his region. What, like 15 years later? It was a pretty big jump. And
we established that he was still like 14 or whatever.
Right. Ash never ages, really.
Right.
But he does have children. And he basically spent the whole time, and a wife, yeah, trying to humiliate all the people who betrayed him. He makes May look like a whore, and not much else, really. The writer really just kind of spun his wheels for a while, trying to come up with ways to humiliate them, and then it just cut off and left us hanging. So after we attempted to have an AI write us an ending for the story, we were left with even more questions than answers. And Michael took it upon himself to write this continuation to kind of merge those two storylines.
I was called.
Yes.
So
Which now involves necromancers. What was that?
Yeah, which the big question now is this canon? I'm not sure.
We'll have
what is canon? Have you read
Well,
my
it was a-
review
it
of
was a
the
detective
Copenhagen
show.
interpretation?
Yeah. What were you saying, though?
Which who?
Dad? It sounded like you
Oh,
got
I was
cut off
just
and stuff.
explaining that canon was an old detective show with this
Ah,
calorically
Gotcha.
challenged guy named Cannon.
of course.
I can't think of his name right now. It's a
And
famous
was he
name.
loose?
He was not loose.
Oh, man.
He was not. That was the twist. Which
Okay.
they tried to have
William-
him do the twist on the first episode, but it didn't work. So they made that the
Yeah.
twist.
William Conrad.
Conrad, yes.
I love this
That's it.
synopsis. A private detective solves all his cases despite being overweight.
Okay.
That pretty much sums it up.
So cannon is short for cannonball.
Yep.
Uh,
That,
and
that
did
was the
he
70s,
run?
yeah.
Okay, let's stop this.
Let's stop this.
Chapter 25, the final chapter. 12 months ago, in all caps. Ash stood in the center of the
Or
stadium.
in other words, 12 months ago.
Ash stood in the center of the stadium. The gentle breeze of the day, made humid by the warm bodies and stands in the stands all around him. In a half circle radiating out from him were grouped his royal court along with his Pokemon. Yes.
Royal Court?
Yeah, I mean he
Pretty
can
sure
ma-
that's yeah.
that is
pretty sure
canon
that's
with
what they
the
were-
old fic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he took over the Silverhood region, and now he established a new rule there, along with his Pokemon. Facing the other way was Misty and her entourage / sideboard, consisting of Tyler, Dawn Berlitz, flesh still puckered in places from the bee stings, and Damien. They all had carrying cases of some sort for their Pokemon, except for Damien, who rolled his around in his hand. Okay, this is our drinking game for this pick, is a word that I don't know how to pronounce.
I've never seen that
Insouciant.
word before.
See ya.
Insouciant. An insouciant snarl
Damn word a day calendar.
had taken root on his scarred face.
Our
And for
only
the record-
hope is that our days run out.
Misha says that's a damn gnomic word. I think you might have taken too big of a drink there, Misha.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for the record, this story is also taking place kind of in reverse order. And I don't think it's been revealed yet where the source of the bee stings. Am I correct?
It's just at the end of what we read, so chapter 16 or whatever, they were trying to think of a prank to play on Dawn.
Yeah.
So off screen, it's implied that they did something that involved her getting stung by bees.
Okay. But
So it's
that's
Pokemon by way of memento.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit.
But I'm thinking the bees came out of a killer bot, and that so it's crossing over with Malcolm in the Middle now. So
Sure.
okay, you can't take that away from me, man.
All right.
I'm
You
trying
have-
to think of a Pokemon
you have to on
memento
fanfiction.net.
portmanteau.
I mean,
That's not pimento.
You have to add
Look at that. I got four faves.
Memento. Have to add both Memento and Malcolm in the Middle to the crossovers on
Okay.
fanfic.net. Okay. An insouciant snarl had taken root on his scarred face. In the middle of the circle stood his mother, Delia, head down in a sign of hopelessness. Ash spoke into the lav mic pinned on the front of his shirt. Thank you. Oh, wait, Tracy was doing Ash for this.
Thank you all for being here today to witness the final battle.
He grinned as the cheers erupted from all around. He waited till the last shout and clap died down before continuing.
Before we begin, a couple of announcements. First of all, we have a special referee for today's match. Please welcome my mother.
There was a hushed silence as he turned, for most of those left in the stands knew of his difficult history with his mother. She was one of the betrayers, you'll remember. Who,
It's gonna be Ash
in the
in a wig and
original
dress.
yeah. Now, I just want to point out that in the original fic, he once threatened to beat her with her own ripped off arm. And that was canon.
What's ridiculous is now that you're describing this fic for the first time, or like you're describing this fic, at first I thought Michael's depictions of violence were pretty gratuitous, but now I am seeing that it's not actually.
They're pretty
That
rooted
far
in
off.
the source material, yeah.
Yeah. Spitfire points out, by the way, it really should have that I misspelled Beedrill up there as BEE.
Yes.
Just like
Or
the sharks.
Could have been
I
comb
misspelled.
bees.
I could have.
or,
I misspelled shark.
Yeah, they could have been combies, maybe Vespiquins.
Well, I still misspelled whatever the hell they were. So
yeah.
You typed in some damn thing and it auto-corrected to B.
yeah.
Okay. Most of those left in the stands knew of his difficult history with his mother. They were all on her side as well. His team was either on the arena floor or safely stowed away in other places. That was part of the plan. Tracy?
Ash.
Okay.
Oh, did we lose Tracy?
Not sure.
Catch him.
Mom,
Okay. There we go. Ash said quietly, turning to her and lowering his gaze as she lifted hers.
I just want to say, I'm glad you're here with me today to witness this.
He tried to hide the manic glee in his eyes as he said it, but wasn't sure how successful he was. He looked down at Greninja at his side and gave a curt nod. Greninja pulled a book out of a satchel he'd had around his neck and began to incant in a low, grumbling tone.
Now!
Ash yelled, and he could not contain his grin anymore.
Now for the second announcement. If you look around, you'll notice that the only ones around you in the stadium are those of you who came to support or are yourselves betrayers.
The crowd began to look around nervously, and some were clearly already about to bolt. So Ash quickened the cadence of his speech.
The book Greninja is reading from is one I found during my travels years ago. Prepare for my final prank, an actual spell.
Greninja's low grumble turned into a faster, louder avalanche of buzzing. Ash felt the hair on the back of his head stand up. People were now standing and starting for the exits, clamoring nervously. Ash yelled even louder.
The spell is called Tear Down the Walls.
Drew's laughter joined his own as the wind picked up and Greninja's mumbles became incomprehensible, guttural roars. The first bolt of lightning was so sudden that Ash would not have been able to tell what it was if it weren't for those that followed.
So Spitfire asks if Tear Down the Walls is an Evanescence song.
Actually, it's Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd, yeah.
Instead of a crack of thunder, there was a deafening ripping noise, as if the world itself was being torn apart from the middle.
You had to work in a fart joke, didn't you?
Ash fell to his knees, breath whooshing out of his mouth as blood spurted out of his nose. He gripped the ground. Thank you. He gripped the ground for purchase, afraid he might fly off at any second. He looked around, but his head moved too quickly and felt like it might spin off his head like a rogue windmill arm. He saw Misty leaping at Greninja, shouting what he assumed could only be no, but sound was meaningless anymore. She grabbed him, but Greninja's mouth kept moving, and he seemed immobile, the pivot around which the rest of the loopy, unhinged universe revolved. Misty kept pulling, trying to wrest the book from Greninja's grip. Behind them, Ash could see Drew, blinking wildly and rubbing at his eyes. His fingers came away bloody. Something was very wrong here. Ash tried to stand, but it was like being on Team Rocket's Viking ship going at 1,000 knots per hour. Nice reference.
How would he know that?
What is that a reference? Oh, when did they sail in that thing?
He's
don't know.
seen it, right?
I don't
just-
actually know what the
that seems
It
like a
wasn't
deep
like
cut.
the time he was on. It's like being
No,
on.
though. But Team Rocket's Viking ship. Is that from the movie? Like,
I look, I Googled Pokemon boats. And the one that seemed like the smallest and the one that like could go super fast and some, if somebody was imagining it was
Gotcha.
Team Rocking's Viking ship. So beyond that, I have no idea.
you fool.
Spitfire
You
notes
play
that
with
the
references
per
you do
hour
not
part is
understand.
implied in knots.
Oh, is it?
Did not know that.
Goddamn ships and all their stupid fucking parts.
Exactly.
Again, that's me writing Waterworld script. Like, oh, what is that thing behind him called? I gotta
It
look
could have
this
been
up
Mr.
now.
Briney's boat. Mr. Briney's boat goes pretty fast.
All right.
I demand that you change it now, sir.
Why
was
didn't you
like-
like he felt like surfing, hanging 10 with Pikachu, off the coast.
Right,
of
right. It was like
Mr.
being on
Peach's house or
a
whatever.
Lapras
Look,
on cocaine.
it's gotta have that patina of danger to it also. So like hanging 10 with Pikachu
But-
is just fun.
Okay. But Team Rocket's Viking ship is a gag. I'm pretty sure Meowth is mounted on the front of it as the maiden of the mast, as they call it. No, they don't call it that. What is it?
I'm absolutely
Masthead?
fine with Team Rocket's Viking ship, but the knots per hour, by God, has to go.
All right, we're watching Jurassic Park. Let's get rid of this.
Would knots per hour be acceleration?
Yeah, it would.
Okay. Then it makes sense after all.
It
There
does.
we go.
Once
It's
you're traveling
very
at that
fast.
speed, it adjusts. Yeah.
Getting
It's
faster by the moment.
All right. His head swiveled the other way, and he saw Evelyn rush to Tyler. Apropos nothing. She exploded like a star going nova, meat and red drops splattering everything around. Tyler dropped to his knees. How many characters have exploded in this fanfiction so far? At least
You know,
three.
I do have
can
to
think of.
say, except for the glaring nonsense about Team Rocket's Viking ship traveling 1,000 knots per hour, this scene rocks. So
Okay.
I'm with you on this one. Yeah.
Okay. I also I think you sent me part of this scene while you were writing it, and I feel like I should put a warning, content warning for graphic body horror coming up here.
That wasn't it.
That was not it.
It's gonna be like David watching a David Cronenberg movie. That's
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What kind of balloon did she explode like though? Spitfire.
A high-speed blood balloon.
Like a balloon going 1,000 knots per hour.
Nearer, Serena had grabbed hold of Jade and Sapphire. They were all crying. Ash crawled toward them and reached out. Jade took hold of his hand, and he pulled himself up towards her. With no warning, there was a sound of rushing air, then a pop. Serena and Sapphire disappeared as if they were never there. Ash hugged Jade to him, felt her face against his abdomen. He couldn't believe it. They were gone in an instant. His, who was it again? He shook his head to be clear, but that was a mistake.
To clear it.
Oh, he shook his head to clear it, but that was a mistake. What did I say? Just to clear?
To be clear.
Oh,
Which
gotcha.
Clear what he
To be
shook.
clear, he shook
In case
his
you're
head.
wondering what he shook, it was his head.
Supposed to happen.
Sorry, you cut out at the beginning.
Supposed to happen.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh my God! Did you guys study?
This wasn't what was supposed to happen.
This is why I don't do theater.
That's why they call me Three Take Tracy.
Finally able to open his eyes again, Ash was greeted with the sight of his mother. God damn. Ash was greeted with the sight of his mother's mouth opening wider and wider in a scream. Her jaw distended, while her cranium forced its way back, and still her mouth continued to stretch until she was literally eating her own body inside out, from inverted head on down. Her spaghetti. Oh my God! I am so sorry. I should have done my vocal warm-ups.
It looks like spaghetti.
I'm ruining this wonderful, beautiful moment.
I've said this on other nights, but we're all drunk here. It's fine.
Her spine began to appear one disc at a time.
Okay, so now we need to add Don Hirschfield's crossover. So,
Does that happen?
Hirschfield?
yeah,
Or Hertzfeld?
I'm pretty sure he did a Hirschfeld. Yeah, I think the guy turns inside out. It's one of those everything constantly changing animations.
Yeah.
He left out the vertebrae, though. You added that. Nice touch.
Okay.
That was my take.
Lightning flashes began to hit in quick succession, but oddly the world did not darken. Lightning usually darkens things, in my experience. So the wind was so strong.
Yeah.
Ash began to feel he'd be swept away, but it stayed bright. The air did take on a violet lambent glow, however, and that's not ambient. It's lambent.
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 Okay,
it's like when you're in a room full of Lamira.
Well, I guess that means we're drinking now.
Glowing, gleaming, or flickering with a soft radiance.
Okay.
That's another new one for me. Lambent.
The air did
Sounds
take
like
on a violet lambent glow, however. One thing for sure, though, the walls of the stands were being torn down. The people left on them were screaming and clutching onto chairs and stands, trying to make their way to exits. But lightning flashes were claiming some, turning them to black stains where they had stood. Okay, picoseconds. I saw the length of the word, and I was.
And you panicked. It's all right.
I started prejudging you. Picoseconds. Okay. Where they had stood picoseconds before, while others were being ensnared in twisting foliage.
Whoa.
I just want to interrupt. Misha says Lampent would make more sense, and I agree. Lampent would make significantly more sense in a Pokemon fic.
Is Lampent a character? A Pokemon?
It's a Pokemon, yeah.
Okay.
It is
Now
from
you know
the
how to try to
Latin.
think.
Yes, Kitty. Twistling.
It's from the Latin lambere, meaning licking.
Okay.
Okay.
And what is twistling
See, and
from?
if we'd had a girl, I was going to name her Lambent.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, people use that imagery a lot, right? Like licking flames. The flames licked at the air.
yeah.
Right?
While others,
I think this is a good. I think this is a good Dolly phrase for future Steve playing. Stop twistling my spaghetti.
Ash had no idea where the deadly vines had come from, but they were squeezing people until they popped like overripe fruit. Many of them just grabbed onto something and stared straight up, screaming, as the infrastructure collapsed violently around them. Ash.
Yeah.
We caught
He said something.
couple
I think I just
syllables
cut
of
it out.
that.
Yeah.
Why?
Looking up. Why? Ash looked up himself and felt his knees give way again. He clutched Jade tightly to himself as he felt the muscles in his legs turn to mashed potatoes. He fell back. See, I don't know if that's literal or not with all this crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
He fell back, still holding her to his chest, willing her not to look up into the horrible, enormous, sky-filling eye that was slowly opening, giving off its lambent violet glow. It seemed to exist.
Out of that.
It seemed to exist behind the sky somehow, as if it drew breath behind everything, an inevitable, horrific denouement to the visible world. Ash began muttering a repeated denial. I don't know if we can't hear Tracy or...
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I'll just take that one that we got and repeat it.
Like,
And then-
That on repeat.
Tracy
it was
never heard
useless.
from again.
But it was useless against something so immense and so inescapable. Spitfire says, Ford, you're turning into a penguin. Stop it. Good reference. He felt the soft loam beneath his head, and thought he saw small black specks moving toward the eye, tiny insects moving toward the hate-filled mien of God. Ash lost consciousness when the mouth beneath the eye showed itself and began to open, revealing nothing but cold cosmos and sharply honed, never-ending rows of teeth.
Awesome, man. That could be Cthulhu story there.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say like this kind of ending, Lovecraftian ending sounds like something I would write.
Yeah.
Michael, I just have one question. The fuck?
That section is the first thing that I wrote for it, you know?
Yeah.
So I was pretty excited about that because I thought I felt like it would be good to build to it, you know?
Yeah. Well, keeping in mind that the betrayal that these people did was to not believe in his hunting all the Pokemon, right?
Right.
They earned it.
I was reminded of David Wong. I don't know if you've read.
Yeah.
Book is full of spiders, etc.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, that's
Okay.
for sure. I mean, that's he's an influence. I mean, Lovecraft is an influence. Yada yada yada. You know. I mean, this is like the sort of stuff that I can spit out like you know. How many knots per hour? Like easily 10 knots per hour
in a parsec.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, the next part is called the present. That must mean it's a gift.
There you go. Seinfeld was not an influence.
Okay, just
I can never pronounce it. I've seen the damn movie now, and I still can't pronounce it. Is that close?
Let's do it together, okay?
The actual line, like if you turn on subtitles, is Allard, which is that guy's name.
Oh, right.
Comma,
right.
Do you date a lot?
Whew.
That's what he apparently actually is supposed to say.
Okay, maybe knowing that will make me remember how to pronounce. Or do you date it all?
Bless you.
Close enough.
It's
All right,
funny
does it
watching you
still
suffer with it
sound good
because
to
I
me?
only just recently got it. So
I'm trying to adjust the mic so that it'll pick up myself and Kitty, who is now joining us. Let me know if it sounds weird now. Okay. Gonna do some vocal warm-ups. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Lambent glow.
Maybe my mommy may move to Miami and maybe my mommy may not.
Part 2, The Present. Ash looked like an escaped prisoner with blood covering his face and jawline, bloodshot eyes, and dead stare. A prisoner who was in for false prophecy, maybe. Ash stared at the scattered necromancers before him, all the Pokemon, including Greninja and Delphox, his conscience for so long. Brock, Damien, Misty, Tyler, Jade. Drew,
It's so weird. Okay.
Brock muttered.
I wasn't even in here the day that everything went down. I was out back getting some peanuts from a vendor I liked. We didn't realize what was happening until the building started to collapse. A piece of masonry flew right into my eye. That's why I have this.
He pointed at the eye patch. Misty said, "Do we have a Misty?"
Jesse and or Tracy?
I'm not sure we even have a Tracy.
Oh no, what happened?
Okay, hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, we
Yeah.
hear you now.
Okay, I'll do Misty. Point at the eye patch. Misty said, okay.
Huh, I'm so used to it now, I'd completely forgotten about that patch. Yeah,
Ash agreed.
it really just kind of slips under the radar.
Brock shrugged.
Shrug.
Jade, honey,
Ash said softly.
Daddy has to go away for now. Can you be a big girl for me?
Jade ran up and hugged him, but said yes into his pants leg.
Now it's in quotes. And Kitty's here. Let her do it.
All right.
All right, read that again,
But-
please.
Jade ran up and hugged him, but said
Yes!
Immediately
into his
cuts
pants
out.
leg.
Damn it. Well, trust me, my yes was better and enthusiastic.
Everybody on stream got it.
It was a
Ash
fierce
looked
yes.
at Misty.
Watch over her, will you?
Misty gave a sharp nod.
Of course.
Tyler spoke up. Who? I was Tyler.
Tyler,
Okay.
speak
I
up.
always forget Tyler. I don't get it. What are you going to do? Ash smiled.
When we fought that sentient lightning, I learned a little trick. And my best friend here knows it too.
Pikachu walked beside him, sighed, and nodded glumly. But first, Pikachu said, there's something I gotta do. The world needs a Pikachu. Pikachu took a ridiculously deep drag on the cigar in his mouth and his body began glowing.
Drag a cigar.
Then, engorging at the stomach. Slowly but surely, a copy of himself began to be birthed from his body, and another Pikachu eventually stood right beside him, shaking its head.
I again pose my question. The fuck?
This. Okay, so Tristan, did you read your notes on this?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so B, I had a friend who I was trying to explain this to, who I hadn't talked to in a while, and she asked
will
me.
never talk to
I was
you
just
again.
gonna say, they were like, don't contact me anymore. This is why we don't speak.
No, we went to see Pokemon 3 in the theaters together back in college. Okay, I mean this is this is fairly up her alley, and she was like, "Do you have a scene with X, which is what's going to happen here in a moment?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Well, then it's not a good Pokemon story." And I was like, "I'm literally writing the last scene here. I can't just throw it in there." And she's like, "Nope, it's got to have it." And then I remembered my rule of like, whatever sort of ridiculous bullshit enters my head, I got to try to do it. And so this is how I accomplished it.
I think that's a Spielberg rule.
You've got to stay here, said Pikachu Prime. Enjoy this life. No, yelled Pikachu Beta. No, let me go. Pikachu Prime slapped Pikachu Beta. It's gotta be me. Pikachu Beta slapped him back. No, we've got the same memories. Pikachu Prime slapped Pikachu Beta. But you're newly born, you fool. Pikachu Beta slapped him back. It's not fair. Pikachu Beta began to cry. Pikachu Prime slapped Pikachu Beta. Who said anything about fair? Pikachu
But if it's not
Beta.
obvious, she said that I had to have two Pikachus slapping each other over and over.
Yes. Pikachu Beta sniffled, then reached out and pulled the pack of cigars from Pikachu Prime's hiding place and stuck one in his mouth.
So you have no idea what this is a reference to?
No, I mean, I've seen the meme. I don't know if I've seen the actual episode or whatever.
It was from the
That's
first
like
movie.
the saddest part of the movie.
Tears.
I've watched maybe the first 10 or so episodes and the first 3 movies and Detective Pikachu. So,
well, this is from the first movie, so you should have seen it.
Okay, it's possible I saw it, but I mean, again, like I saw the third one in college, so I saw the first 2 in college as well.
He may have better things to keep in his head.
We get it. You went to
Can't
college.
keep everything in there.
Like I get it. I had sex with a girl. God.
I remember
all those wretched visualizations he keeps in there.
I remember the Squirtle Squad, so.
I just like to point out one thing. They say they have the same memories, but only one remembers being up another Pikachu's butt. So
that's not where he was.
They're not quite the same. Well, whatever kind of orifice he came out of.
He was
Being
in a
up there
cigar
is a
hiding
memory
place.
only one of them has.
They underwent
Right.
cytokinesis, Kevin. My God.
Can I
I'd
finish
like to
this
point out that
paragraph?
neither of these Pokemon, either of these Pikachus sound like Ryan Reynolds.
No.
They sound like Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
We were robbed.
Spitfire says, how else am I going to remember things like Namek and hot molasses?
And high-speed blood balloons.
Fine, he mumbled despondently, then wandered over to stand by Misty.
Give me a sec. What is it?
Ironically, he's not ready.
Are you ready, buddy?
Ash asked, and Pikachu nodded, putting one arm down and the other up, like Superman about to take flight.
Kitty, you want to be Amy Lee?
She just left.
Oh, of course.
Oh.
There's a character with one line.
Oh my God, that's me. Okay, hello, I'm here.
She has 2 lines.
Oh shit, that's too many.
3 lines.
Wait!
Cried Amy Lee of Evanescence.
I believe I am called to join you.
Huh?
Ash was confused.
Ever since that mysterious man I met at the traveling carnival in Nepal with the mummy's paw and the puzzle box told me of my future, I knew this day would come.
She turned to her band.
I apologize for
Mummy's
leaving,
paw?
but
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Money's paw?
Mummy's. It's a monkey's paw.
listen, I read the words that were on the screen. Y'all can
oh,
fight me
no,
later.
We're not mad at you.
I'm
You
not.
better
No.
It
They did mummify animals.
It was a dead monkey,
Quit
obviously.
making excuses for it.
Okay, all right.
That's our vocabulary for today. Mummy.
Who wants to be
Monkey
drummer
monkey.
Will Hunt?
Look, we all knew this day would one day arrive, said drummer Will Hunt, nodding understandingly. We shall activate the live model decoy clone we've stored away for just this circumstance.
Good.
Replied Amy Lee. She looked at Ash.
Are we ready?
Ash nodded.
Who is this?
And I have to say, I'm especially pleased that someone with your surname feels comfortable coming with me. I'm glad after the things my people have done to yours, we can come together in this sign of solidarity.
I'm from Riverside.
Oh.
Ash shuffled for a moment, eyes darting around in his blood-stained face.
Let's do it!
He clanged his samurai swords together, and a flash of lightning popped into existence. Ash flew straight up it, launching himself at the immense being above him. Pikachu also launched himself with a lightning blast, as did Amy Lee. The three of them shot into the sky, growing smaller, smaller, then finally becoming indistinct dots against the enormity of the evil creature above. There was a long moment of silence. Damien holstered his pistol and looked around, amazed.
I can't believe I made it,
he muttered.
I'm pretty sure that last paragraph is where the theme song is meant to play.
Yeah.
We also have a shield crossover.
Okay.
Because of the life decoy model, right?
Sure.
Was that good?
Misty asked.
Did we win?
The fight that is occurring now
answered one of the necromancers.
happens on a scale unimaginable to the human mind. There is no way we shall ever know if...
A loud noise, like someone who had just been walked in on masturbating, zipping up, sounded from above, and the eye and mouth disappeared. Distantly, a bird began trilling a happy song, and the sun immediately seemed brighter.
Oh.
The necromancer said, shrugging as he nodded.
Yeah, I guess we're good then.
Vampire Jamal wandered over, poking at his teeth with his tongue.
What did I miss? I got distracted with gnawing on a bone, and fell asleep for a while. After walking in a circle 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
I improvised that. It just came to me.
Everyone stared back at him. The silence grew uncomfortable, and he started using a long nail to try to get something from between his 2 teeth.
What?
Everyone laughed.
Freeze frame on them laughing.
The end.
That last one kind of just sounded like screaming.
Yeah, screaming, cheering. It's a gray area.
So there you go. I hope everyone enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yes. A round of actual applause.
Hyperclap.
Give me this bean.
You want these beans?
I want these beans.
Take these beans.
It was very interesting. I did leave a very well thought out review with some notes that I think you probably want to take a look at.
Okay.
Like on
still
stream,
called Bad Larry.
Ow.
Misha asks if we can read the reviews.
I also left a review, but it was for a blender. I just put it in the wrong spot.
Okay. Let me start at the bottom. North Star Polka Shipper asks, where can I read the first part? A question that was answered in the first prologue of the first chapter.
Thank you.
Mikhail Gorbachev asks, who is Jamal? Is he the same person as Vampire Jamal? Otherwise, this is good. No midnight for Noah, but still good. True Kawaii sends flames.
Jesus, Quinn, how many AKAs do you have on fanfiction?
I am the only person on fanfiction anymore.
Oh, hey. Oh, that's good to know. I can go into reading mode for this. Oh, perfect. Okay. My best friend, a filmmaker, often said that a movie's job was to entertain you and not make you question it for the 19 to 120 minutes you sat through it. For instance, face/off. Is this just a copy pasta?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yeah, this is seeming familiar.
Speaking of Torchwood.
Yeah, the real Gorbachev, Man of the Year.
Wow.
19 whatever.
I really wonder if somebody will come across this at some point and be like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to let's go to Steve Plank next.
Okay.
All right.
And
Chapter 6, Captured.
Yes, let me put it in chat.
Captured.
Should I read my new poem about Nibbles?
Do you have one?
It's called
Nibbles, he's such a
Ultimately
jerk.
Betrayal, Sweet Revenge.
Oh no. Cycle continues. In the last chapter, not only did we find out that Nibbles was a traitor and is working with the Chair organization against Steve Plank. Nibbles being a gerbil or a
Yes,
hamster?
he's a gerbil. He's a gerbil.
Okay. We also found out that Henry Winkler is the mastermind, is the big bad of this story. So is there? I mean, I would love to do a Winkler voice. Probably Tracy can do it just as well. Since I already have Buford, probably somebody else should take it.
Well, Kevin's been doing the master.
I don't remember.
You've just been doing it very
high.
Yeah.
Okay, do it the same way.
Technically,
All right.
But you got to do it with a Henry Winkler spin.
I don't know if I can do that. I'm not sure what that would be.
Yeah.
Just hey.
Yeah, say it. So that's the Fonz. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm just going on record thinking that I think Nibbles has been controlled by the ghost of Ralph Mouth. I'm hoping that's what it is.
I think Nibbles might be a double agent.
Yeah.
Or a triple agent, I guess. Yeah.
Triple. I don't know. He's yeah. Okay. I don't say that. It's about me, not to me or by me.
So chapter 6, Captured.
This is
who's
Dolly at the beginning.
This is Dolly and Steve.
All right.
Yeah,
Who's
is
Steve?
Dolly
Let's
doing
go.
the news?
The Fonz.
The Fonz.
The Fonz.
Dolly and Steve cried in shock and horror, but not in unison. It was inconceivable. Henry Winkler, widely considered to be the nicest person on the planet, was the leader of a nefarious organization hell-bent on world domination? No way. Even with the evidence staring them right in the face, smiling and twiddling his thumbs, their minds simply could not comprehend what was unfolding before them.
Howdy. I understand that you're the Steve Blank that my Buford has been telling me about.
Oh,
It's nice to meet you. I'm going to drop the Fonz part.
Okay.
Winkler brightly intoned.
You seem to have a misunderstanding of what we do here. What?
In the chat.
You see...
What did he say? We didn't hear. Sorry.
John Denver is the nicest.
You seem to have a misunderstanding of what we do here. It's a bit complex, so let me explain. We at Chair want to rule the world. To accomplish this, we must sanitize the feet of this world. Who are these fools earning extreme termination, you ask? Why, they're anyone who doesn't follow the 4 legs of our organization. A chair cannot stand without its legs, as chair cannot stand without the legs.
Steve scoffed.
Okay. I wanted to, just for the sake of experiment, I want to try to do some of that as Henry Winkler.
Yes.
To accomplish this, we must sanitize the feet of this world. Who are these fools earning extreme termination? Why, they're anyone who doesn't follow the 4 legs of our organization. Chair cannot stand without its legs, as chair cannot stand without the legs. That was my best.
That was pretty good.
I always point out that a stool has 3 legs, and it's fine.
It's not a chair. Also, Steve is going to address this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steve scoffed.
That's stupid. Loads of chairs don't have legs. Beanbag chairs, Zisus, recliners?
He said before a punch to the gut from Nibbles silenced him.
So are you going with your lane, Winkler, or am I going with my lane?
No, keep going. Keep going.
Thank you, Nibbles. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, the legs. The L is for the L word. Those who would sit on it must watch the L word and have written a 5,000 word or more essay on the relationship dynamics between the two characters throughout the series.
Winkler said as he folded his hands on his lap.
The E is for A. My disciples must be able to do a perfect impersonation of me at any time. They never know when you'll need a decoy to follow and followers are so
tonight.
extended.
My God.
So
I don't
he
know
must
about
have
you,
been
I'm
hanging out
crushing
with
it.
Evanescence, because you never know when you'll need a decoy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's amazing how similar these two stories are.
these parallels are uncanny. G is for golf. There's nothing quite like hitting the links with a foursome and playing a lazy 9 holes with a few Mai Tais.
At this, Winkler's eyes glazed over for a few seconds, clearly reminiscing about one of those enjoyable afternoons. Buford cleared his throat, snapping Winkler out of his revelry.
Thank you. The S is possibly the most important leg of chair.
I just
Super
want to
fans of
point out
Henry
that
Winkler. Oh, damn you. Super fans of Henry Winkler.
Who
want to see him rule the world. Super fans of Henry Winkler who want to see him rule the world. When you say it loud
There
enough,
it
it's really
is.
quite atrocious.
You coreless son of a bitch.
Steve gasped.
You'll never get away with this. When the people find out what you're doing, they'll do something to stop you.
My boy, I will already have gotten away with it at some point in the future.
Winkler said with a giggle. With a giggle?
I don't know if it's deleted or I forgot to put a quotation, but there is a quotation mark there.
Okay.
It's supposed
World
to be.
leaders around the globe have either been sanitized or have pledged allegiance to me. Besides, it's not like you'll be able to do anything about it. You're scheduled to be executed tomorrow.
But, sir,
Buford said,
I thought we were going to execute him here and now. You did just lay out the structure of our organization and a broad outline of our plan. This is basically asking for him to escape and ruin all of our plans.
Fool! I am Henry Winkler. No one can stand in my way. Not Ron Howard, not Mr. C, not Officer Kirk, no one!
Winkler proclaimed in his usual jovial tone. Take them to the dungeons!
God damn it, I suck.
Nibbles watched as his former lover and the other one were dragged off. Which one was his former lover? Really? You can't read between the lines? You need me to spell it out? You know what? No. If you can't figure out which one of those bodacious sex fiends Nibbles had an intimate romantic relationship with, I'm not going to correct your ignorance. Wallow in it, you backyard hooligan. They had a threesome. They're both ex-lovers of his.
You've done well, Dibbles.
Winkler purred.
Your guise as Steve's friend was perfect, and it served us well. I have one more thing I require of you.
Yes, Lord Winkler.
You will execute Steve Plank at noon tomorrow.
I don't know why, but Lord Winkler just strikes me as so funny. Winkler said with an attempt at a devious smile, which ended up just looking heartwarming on his lovable face.
I assume that you, like Buford, harbor a deep resentment towards him?
Yes, Lord Winkler. His smug arrogance and overtrained core muscle groups are more than any one person can handle. I shall enjoy watching him die.
Nibbles said solemnly.
How will I kill
him
him?
Wearing a helmet made of the same black leather as his jacket.
How will I kill him?
Ah, yes. We have something special prepared for him. Come with me.
Winkler got up from his throne, picked up Nibbles, and strode out of the chamber. They walked in silence through the long, twisting, maybe even twistling corridors of Chair headquarters. At first, Nibbles tried to keep a mental map of where they were heading, but soon became overwhelmed. Finally, Winkler opened a door with a touch. Inside, there was a single wooden chair with belts and straps on it, as if to fasten someone into it. A single incandescent bulb swung from the ceiling. A pegboard ran around the walls of the room, and hanging on it were various implements that could be used to cause someone pain. Winkler briskly stepped over to the chair and set Nibbles down on the seat.
You will decide what method his execution shall use. Remember, this will be broadcast on HBO, so pretty much anything goes. I'll meet you in the execution chamber tomorrow.
Used to be a glimpse of stocking was thought of as something shocking.
Can I read my line, please?
Yes, Lord Winkler.
Why did you bring me here if we're not broadcasting it from the if we're broadcasting it from the execution chamber?
Chuckling was heard.
To give you a quiet place to think.
Steve grunted as his body was introduced to the damp floor of the cell. He heard Dolly make a similar noise from down the hall. He struggled to his feet, his head spinning. Everything was happening so fast. Nibbles was working with Buford? Henry Winkler was the leader of Chair? Where was Buttercup? He saw the jeering faces of the Chair flunkies through the bars on his cell door. He sprung towards them, grabbing the bars, pulling himself against them. He struggled for a few minutes before he gave up and staggered back to the pile of straws on the ground that was clearly meant to serve as his bed.
Steve?
I don't think they could hear that.
Steve?
Came the faint, echoing call of Dolly from down the hall.
I don't know about y'all, but I think we're in trouble.
Dolly, are you all right? Don't worry, I'll get us out of this somehow.
Steve trailed off, not believing himself. He was a shower, not a grower. He talked a big game. He talked a big game, but his I was like, what does that metaphor mean? He talked a big game, but his plans were usually flaccid and finished before the climax. Nibbles was the idea, man.
Come on.
He was the one who always... Steve swallowed a lump in his throat the size of a pheasant egg. Finding out Nibbles was a chairman was something that hadn't really sunk in yet. His best friend, the guy who he joked around with, went to luxury stores to buy overpriced everyday items with, was helping Henry Winkler take over the world? The rodent who drove a Ferrari, carried a Russian pistol, and wore a fedora that made him look like a complete... Twitch has censored this content that would likely be an offensive yet accurate description of its primary consumer. Steve didn't want to accept it. And yet...
Are you going to say Virginia?
He had to.
You can't say Virginia.
It may be a less than favorable turn of events, but it didn't mean that it wasn't the way things were. Nibbles, for all his good qualities, was a traitor. He and Dolly were going to be executed because of what Nibbles had done to them. Buttercup was probably already dead. May Hanks feast on her soul.
You're in quite a fix, ain't you, pal?
Said a voice near the ground. Steve looked down to see Nibbles standing there, his hands in his tiny, adorable pockets. Rage boiled up inside of him like a pot of pasta that has been left on high heat. He flung himself against the bars of the prison cell, his arms reaching through to snatch the rodent up. It hurt, but he didn't care. Nibbles needed to pay.
You son of a bitch! How could you? I thought we were friends, Nibbles! Don't you care about the lives you've ruined? All the people who are going to die? Because of Winkler's plans?
Steve questioned Nibbles, still straining to pick up the gerbil that stood just out of arm's reach.
I don't. Henry is offering me that which you never could. A seat on his ruling council. Buford, Henry, and I will eliminate anyone who gets in our way.
Nibbles nonchalantly said.
Don't you see, Steve? It's all so much bigger than your life, or Dolly's life, or anyone. It's about destroying the current world to make a new one. A hammer can both build and destroy. The world needs a hammer, Steve, and Cher is that hammer. Its members are the hammers. We will smash this rotten world and remake it.
You know what they say, when all
You're
you
a
have is
tool.
a hammer, everything looks like a chair.
Also, are you hammers or chairs? Pick up. Growled Steve through clenched teeth.
Well, yes, in this metaphor, I would be a tool.
Nibble smiled back.
By the way, Steve, I'll be your executioner tomorrow. I have something special planned for you. Until then, Steve.
Fuck you.
Right back at you, buddy.
Nibbles turned and left. Boop, boop. Steve watched Nibbles disappear into the dim light of the hall, the tiny sounds of his footsteps growing softer and softer. Turning, he made his way over to the pile of straws and sat down. Never had Steve been at such a loss. He put his head into his hands and wept, sobbing uncontrollably. In a day, he'd lost his best friend, lost his former rival and newfound ally, and got him and his girlfriend sentenced to death. He was a failure. A rat ran through the bars of his cell and up onto his lap. Annoyed and wanting to continue his sobbing, he pushed the little ball of fluff off of his lap. The rat latched onto his pant leg with its mouth and began tugging in the direction of the wall. Steve picked it up and looked at it. As he was preparing to chuck it into the wall in his emotional state, he saw a little bow tied around its neck. He set the rat on the ground and it scurried over to the wall. It turned around 3 times, then nudged the wall with its nose before looking up at Steve. He shrugged and pushed on the wall. Nothing happened and he felt a nip on his toe. The rat did the same motions again and looked back up at Steve. Clearly the hamster intended for him to copy it.
Oh, I missed a hamster. I decided like towards the end that I wanted to change it to a rat.
Okay.
Damn it.
Why not Control F and replace all? I don't understand.
Because I'm stupid, okay?
Well, because that would get the other hamster references that we're supposed to. Or no, that was gerbil.
Yeah.
So.
No. Go with that, Tristan. That's good. Keep
Yeah.
What if I screwed up and called Nibbles a hamster? Then I'd be calling him a rat. It would make no sense. What did he have to lose? Steve turned around.
He is a rat.
What? Right.
Kevin takes this
Nibbles is a
personally.
tool and he's a rat. What did he have to lose? Steve turned around 3 times and nudged the wall with his nose. The rat rolled over and started squeaking. It was laughing. It was laughing at him.
You little bastard. You think this is funny? I'm stuck in a cell and I've lost all the people who I have ever cared about. Screw you, rat!
Who wants to be our new voice?
Psst. Oh. I'm not doing anything. What's this voice?
Well, all you know is that it's saying psst right now.
Okay, here's my
What's
best.
motivation for.
I want to get someone's attention quietly.
Okay. you supplied it yourself. Cool.
Okay.
That sounded a little too
Came a whisper.
refreshing.
It did sound very refreshing.
What's up, fast?
Came a whisper from the hallway. Steve turned and saw a piece of a mirror poking out from behind the wall, clearly from an adjacent cell.
By talking to Ricardo like that, it's not his fault you're an idiot.
Sorry, I didn't know he was your pet. I've had kind of a rough day.
Steve sighed.
Can you call him back over to you?
Sure. Ricardo, vámonos! And you, whatever your name is, come over to the bars. I want to talk to you.
Steve walked over and looked into the mirror, trying to see its owner. Unfortunately, the dim lighting in the hall and in the cells combined with the angle to obscure the holder.
Who are you?
Name's Walter. Yours?
I'm Steve. How long have you been here?
Long enough. That gerbil said he was executing you in the morning. So that gerbil said he was executing you in the morning? There we go. Didn't say it.
Yeah.
Well, and you're lucky those numbskulls were stupid enough to put you in the cell next to mine, friend. See that guy across the hall? He and I have a plan to bust out. One in.
Only if we get my girlfriend out too. She's down here somewhere.
The more merrier. Breakouts are great with a lot of people. Hey, Eric, I want you to meet someone.
We're breaking out together.
Dolly sat alone in the dim light, entering her cell from the corridor outside. Her pile of straws, you are intent on making straws plural for some reason. And
you're going to see in just a second if you continue reading. God damn it.
Her pile of straws were of the crazy variety. Got it. Of the crazy variety. So she managed to amuse herself with that for a time.
Feel stupid.
Hoisted by my own straws. Nah, it doesn't work. But before long, she thought of Steve.
I hope he's like the abbreviation of a state that has a musical named after it.
She sighed.
I suppose it doesn't really matter, though. We're dying tomorrow at noon. That bastard Henry Winkler, he should just sit on it.
Hey.
Aloud.
Quit bumping my camera.
Do you have a sound effect for this, Tristan?
Let me just read ahead.
The Boom King.
Okay, yeah.
Who's the Boom King?
Aloud.
Boom King. Whoa.
You got to let me know if you've done it, since I can't hear it.
It was done.
It probably cut out.
Suddenly shook the bars of her cell and the concrete walls. Alarms started blaring as figures in the robes of chair acolytes sprinted toward the source of the explosion. Dolly ran up to the bars of her cell, pressing against them to try and see what was going on. Shouts echoed off the concrete walls. At the same time, Dolly heard the sounds of people running towards her cell. Okay, I'm waiting a minute.
What? Starbucks? What was going on?
Boop, boop. Winkler.
Wait a minute.
Where are we at? What's happening, Buford?
Yeah.
Henry Winkler wailed from his throne. The explosion in the prison levels had shaken the entire building. Papers and acolytes went hither and thither. Word choice, hell yeah, across the room. Buford stumbled through a haze of smoke and fumes coming from the pipe that was meant to add only an environmental amount of smoke and fumes to the command center to increase the atmosphere, and grabbed a monitor.
Cells 8008.
This is Buford.
Okay. I thought it was, but nobody.
Tristan is Buford.
Oh.
Cells 8008, 69, and 420 have been breached.
Buford
They're
bellowed
all
back.
funny numbers.
They said the funnies.
Steve Plank and 2 other prisoners, Walter D. and Eric P., have escaped. I told you we should have executed them immediately, but no. You just had to reveal our plans and invite the irony, didn't you?
No pointing fingers. No pointing fingers, you so-and-so. We need to get this situation under control. Someone find Nibbles.
Ba-doop, beep. The heavy footfalls of those running towards her grew louder and louder.
Steve! I thought you were going to give me reverb.
Yeah, okay, yeah. There you go.
Steve! Oh, am I going to get a Dolly thought?
She said it.
Oh,
We didn't hear it.
Yeah, okay. I'll trust you that it came through. Dolly thought.
Okay. I knew you'd figure out a way to get us out of this mess that's hairier than my Meemaw's legs in the winter solstice.
Through the smoke, 3 figures emerged, all wearing aviator glasses for dramatic effect. In the lead was Steve, a cigar in his mouth. He was followed closely by 2 other men, both of whom seemed to be wearing robes. At first, Dolly was worried they might be chair acolytes, but as they grew closer, she saw that the robes were actually capes. Steve picked up a flamethrower from the fire extinguisher cubby, lit a cigar, and strode up to Dolly's cell.
Stand back, babe.
He fired the fire directly at the lock. It glowed red, then white, then aquamarine before dissolving away. The barred door swung open, and Steve hastily discarded the flamethrower to catch Dolly, who had run into his arms.
I'd like, is this me?
This is Steve.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to introduce you to some friends I made. Dolly Parton, meet Walter Dracula, and Eric, the Phantom of the Opera.
Author's note: I do actually share Steve Plank's views on opening a prison cell with a flamethrower.
I mean, that's sure. Why not, right?
Perfect.
Well, and I had
Just like that they had an entire cubby devoted to storing flamethrowers.
It's for fire extinguishers. They've got a flamethrower in the fire extinguisher cubby.
Because they're evil.
Yeah. And I had to put Dracula and the Phantom of the Opera in because I found out they're public domain. And if you don't include Dracula and the Phantom of the Opera in every story that you ever write, then you're wasting valuable real estate.
Right. Right. It's true.
And you also need
have them all sing "Oh My Darling."
What about Frankenstein's monster? Is that a thing? Is that public domain too? I feel like it should be.
Yeah.
Now you're just getting ridiculous, Kitty.
I know.
God. I tried to foreshadow that it was a vampire with the light, or with him not being able to see him in the mirror.
I actually I read the letters wrong, and I thought it was Walter P. And I was like, wait, didn't Steve have an ancestor who had planked for like 16 hours who was named
That's
Walter?
Ignatius Solomon Plank. My God, don't you know anything about the war?
It was P,
obviously
though.
No.
Spend some time on the wiki, and so you don't embarrass yourself.
I don't know many Walters, so I was just like, Walter White?
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I was expecting. Yeah,
I was trying to look up because I felt like if I named him Vlad, that would be too obvious.
Right.
And so I looked up the English, English equivalent of Vlad,
and it's Walter.
Vladimir is closest to Walter in English.
Interesting.
Weird.
That's what you guys get for not knowing.
Thanks, Google.
Well, now we know.
Yeah. If you knew the equivalents of various Slavic names, you would definitely be able to figure out who my entire cast is before I even get to the reveals.
I was actually afraid when you first said Walter that it was going to be Walter and Perry from Home Movies, because I want to do a fanfic of them, but it wasn't them.
How are we supposed to know it was a vampire if you didn't give him a name like Vlad or Jamal?
Well,
or werewolf.
You couldn't see him in the mirror. He couldn't see him in the mirror
because it was dark.
I'm such an idiot. Thank you.
It's not like we're some Vietnamese peasant that it takes forever. Well, maybe it is. Okay, yeah. I'm a Vietnamese peasant.
Yeah, right. For anyone who isn't on our Discord,
you should be on the Discord. It's fun. Come join it. It's fun.
I did some research after the last time we read Love or Lust, and apparently the creators did imagine Falco as one of those Vietnamese pheasants.
Huh.
There's an interview.
Not true.
Oh!
Yeah, Falco Blue Jay McEagleton is actually a pheasant.
Right, yeah, and Sam Eagle is a bluebird because he's blue. Right.
Right.
Okay, Tristan, for this one, can you make sure that I'm on screen?
Okay, yeah.
Question.
Goodbye.
What does bringing a vampire story into Star Fox accomplish? So far, it just feels like a normal vampire story to me. I didn't know how a vampire is going to change space dog.
What does bringing Eddie Brock into the Frozen world accomplish? You know.
Well, now you're just being ridiculous. Come on.
He could swing from mountains.
Do we have a cast list?
Okay, so
get her powers for like 13 chapters. It's perfect.
Okay, so are we?
Okay, hold on. Let me look up the command because I
play Flapjack.
Lust Voices and Stream Elements brings up our.
Yeah, I hear those too. I have to take more pills.
Loverlust voice actors. I play Fox, Leon, Farah, and Quinn has Crystal. Tracy has Slippy and Wolf. Kevin, Falco, and Orlando Helsing. Drew has Peppy. No barrel roll. And Kitty has Panther. And Jesse has Cat, but Jesse's not with us tonight, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So,
Cat glanced at the page and immediately saw Cobalt Vixen, so we're in for it.
Yes.
Oh man.
I'm here with you, Drew.
Okay.
We're gonna suffer together.
Quick recap. We're not too far into the story, despite it being chapter 5. Wolf bit Crystal, turned her into a vampire. Crystal had her first feeding on a bandit that was trying to steal things at City Hall for some reason. And Wolf expects her to be grateful to him and kind of loyal to him for turning her. And Falco was suspicious last chapter because everybody was kind of suspicious because she was covered in blood and started wearing hoodies over her face.
Sorry, I just started reading the author's note. Oh my god.
I love the author's notes. Love them.
Yeah, that's probably enough background.
Okay. So I was a little sad that last week you had forgotten that the way that I picture this author, and so the note or the voice that I have for his notes is really insecure guy in a bathrobe, like walking around his messy apartment, mumbling at the camera.
Okay.
And so that is my firm mental image for this.
Spitfire
for this
says
author.
it was written by Zack Snyder.
Chapter 5, Falco versus Leon. Note, this chapter contains insane levels of badass. As a fair warning, you might need to take a break from reading every so often in order to take in how badass this chapter is.
There's no way that's not satire, right? Like, that's gotta be satire.
Yeah. Those who want to read now, get ready. When morning came, Falco decided to take Kat on a date. When she arrived, Kat didn't. He decided. When she arrived at the Great Fox, Kat was dressed in a black cocktail dress. In the main room, Crystal was... Maybe she did know about the date.
They're going to brunch in a cocktail.
I mean, what is time on the Great Fox?
Hold on a second. Kat is a cat who is nocturnal, so it's morning. I mean, it's evening for her.
All right.
Quit making excuses.
In the main room, Crystal was sitting on the couch, wearing her blood-stained hoodie.
Just what shit? Goddamn
What does
thing.
Cat sound like?
Oh.
Is that any way to greet a girl?
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Excuse me.
Cat gently asked the hooded vixen.
Where's Falco at?
It's close. It's close.
He's in his room.
The Cobalt Vixen answered.
Damn it.
Right, that was the drinking game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
37.
Walking towards her, Cat saw that Crystal was consuming a red liquid that was inside a glass jar. However, the vixen didn't look like she was enjoying what she was consuming.
What's that?
Cat asked, referring to the red liquid.
It's cherry jelly.
Crystal said.
You don't look like you like it.
The pink cat stated.
The jelly is rather bitter, so I admit it's not very good.
The Cobalt Vixen said.
Holy Christmas.
God, we're like, we've barely scrolled and we've got two.
I'm really drinking.
Falco walked in the room.
Hey, Cat, I see that you got here.
It's fortuitous. I decided I was taking you on a date, and you just showed up. It's perfect.
That's the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me. No. I probably should have rung the bell.
Cat blushed.
You're fine.
The avian smiled at his girlfriend.
Where's everyone else?
The pink cat asked.
Slippy's working on the communication. Preppy is... Whoa, it's scrolling on.
Slipping and Preppy?
Preppy?
Slippy is working on the communicators. Peppy is spending time with his daughter, and Fox is down on the Corneria.
Oh, Fox
Preppy
is on
is
the
Peppy's
Corneria.
He's getting on the Canaria again.
Crystal said, taking a break from consuming the red liquid. Oh, that was Crystal.
Sucks. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'll go back and... Okay.
Slippy's working on the communicators. Peppy is spending time with his daughter. And Fox is down on the Corneria.
Crystal.
The is not in
said,
this sentence, just for the record.
Taking a break from consuming the red liquid.
Good. I'm glad she wasn't guzzling it while speaking.
Right.
She's like, wait, I got a really good ventriloquist trick.
I'm drinking a jar of blood, and the dummy keeps talking.
We'll
meet up with them later.
Oh, there you go.
Falco said.
Shall we leave?
Cat asked.
Yes, we are free to do so.
because this is America, damn it.
We're on Corneria, aren't we?
The avian stated. The avian stated as he walked to the elevator.
Okay, good to know.
The pink cat said as she followed her boyfriend into the elevator. With them out of sight, Crystal was on her own.
Oh,
glug,
God
glug,
fucking
glug,
damn
glug,
it.
glug.
Here it comes.
If I don't read the line, it'll never come. Maybe I should look at that sword Wolf gave me.
The Cobalt Vixen said, closing the jar full of blood. After eating lunch with Cat, Falco looked at his glass of wine. Wine didn't usually bother him.
What?
But this would have been giving him the eye, you son of a bitch. It was just the color.
Morning, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, but really, what is morning on the Great Fox, right?
I guess that's true, but they're not.
Yeah. It was just the color of the wine Cat had chosen, red.
Cabernet and waffles. Let's do it. What a pairing.
Please, that was my mom's favorite breakfast.
I'm in Portland, so I bet I could point to like 5 restaurants that specialize in that.
Like a sangria you could do. I don't know.
Yeah.
My mom used to feed me that on Sunday mornings to get me to be quiet. Anyway, what's the matter, hun?
Cat asked.
I can't stop thinking about the jar of red stuff Crystal had with her.
When your girlfriend is in a fucking like black evening gown across from you, and you're like, I just can't stop thinking about that jar of red liquid. Falco sighed.
It's full of jelly. She said so herself.
The pink cat smiled.
I don't think that the red stuff was jelly.
The avian ventured.
If it was jelly, it would be more solid.
What are you saying?
Cat?
Oh, it didn't pick up. What are you saying? Really? Again?
Tristan, turn push to talk on so that never happens.
But then I'd have to push things to talk.
Yeah, and who wants that?
Well, then just take the auto thing down all the way.
Is that really what causes it?
I don't know. I haven't had the problem since I put mine down.
But the line was said.
Cat asked.
I think that it might be blood.
Falco whispered.
I think that it might be.
Are you sure?
She asked.
That or punch? Falco punch.
I've narrowed it down to 2 things. I don't know which is worse.
It could be the latter.
The pink cat said. Now look, nobody will be admitted during this scene once it's already started, okay? Because this chapter is so badass.
I was going to say, can we take a break? There's a lot of badass I'm taking in here. Brunch with red wine?
Badass.
Drink a couple.
Let's continue this conversation outside.
Falco said as he placed a few credits on the table.
Like in space?
No, they went down to Corneria, I think.
Agreed.
Cat said as they walked outside.
Although if I had a sound effect of as airlock rupturing, I would put it here.
From a rooftop, Leon was watching Falco and Cat leave a restaurant. The chameleon smiled, knowing that he had them both in his sights.
So like he's on the
very
roof of a
restaurant
ship.
they'd been in seconds earlier.
This is just too perfect.
Leon thought.
Maybe I'll feed on that kitty before I feed on the bird. I think that everything is better now that I'm a vampire.
Oh, I'm a vampire and I'm okay.
The chameleon began.
That is a euphemism. Yes.
Feeding on the bird. Yeah.
Feed on that kitty. The chameleon began to walk off the roof and into the building. I was thinking Hooded Vixen almost. Yeah. He was extra careful to wear a hooded jacket and gloves as to not expose his body to sunlight. In addition, he wore a set of sunglasses to protect his eyes. He was honestly hoping that his fellow vampires would do the same thing. He's a real community-minded vampire.
I hope.
I came up with this thing. I thought it was a really good idea. It would really make me happy if you guys adopted it.
Well, he's doing a PSA is what he's doing. He's like,
Yeah.
I am
Recommendation
honestly
for vampires.
fellow vampires would do this exact thing.
Falco and Cat sat down on a bench, with Falco sighing in reluctance. He's reluctant to sit down.
It was the color of the bench.
He usually perches.
He wanted to tell his girlfriend what was going on. He just didn't want to sell out Crystal's vampirism.
Sell out?
Yeah.
Your vampirism sold out, man.
It's like
So
Twilight,
commercial.
not like something cool like Dracula.
Like Walter Dracula.
Used to be about sucking blood. Now you're about advertising.
Okay. What is that you want to talk about, Falco?
Cat ass.
What is
I just
that
wanted to know
want
how
talk
you
about?
would. I just wanted to know how you would react if you found out your friend was a vampire.
Falco said,
What do you mean?
Cat was quizzical.
Who's this friend you're talking about?
Everyone in this story is a moron.
Yeah,
A badass
it's just
moron.
an Ebert
Who
idiot
am I?
plot,
What's a
sure.
cat?
What's a bench that we're sitting
Should we go
on?
get food?
Sometimes if I lay down with my mouth open, I drown.
Yes, well, when it rains, I look up and drown. So I'm a pheasant.
Yeah.
That's
Ba-dum-bum.
turkeys. So. Is it my line already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought. Okay. I can't say their name,
The avian said,
but I can tell you that I missed the obvious signs before I placed it together. I'm not ashamed to admit that. It took me like 3 chapters. It was too many.
Goth hoodies, blood. It's all coming together, man.
Has this friend fed on anybody?
The cat asked.
I haven't seen anyone being drained yet.
He answered.
Did they have a beard? Guess who? Okay. Who are you even talking about?
Cat asked, starting to get impatient.
If I tell you their name, will you keep it a secret?
Falco asked.
I'm sorry, Crystal. Please don't drain me.
Please don't feed on the bird, as it were.
Are these all euphemisms? Is this whole thing a euphemism? Yikes.
Did I miss the sure and all of that?
No, sorry. Sure.
Cat gave her boyfriend a reassuring smile.
Crystal.
Falco said quietly enough so that no one would hear him.
There's nobody around, so that was quite enough.
That makes sense.
That was a whisper. I guess it's cutting out whispers too.
Oh my god.
Okay. Cat whispered.
The poor vixen was wearing a hoodie and consuming blood.
It does take a long time to put the pieces together. You're right.
I'll remind you
Not only that.
At the beginning of this, the first author note, he was worried about getting it done in time for Halloween, starting at the beginning of October.
So it took him a month to write this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have cast some more.
Got so much world building to fit into it.
I love that wearing a hoodie is just a tell-all sign for being a vampire.
Oh my god, was everyone in my middle school a vampire?
Not only that,
the avian said,
but her stomach was rejecting food. Her heart wasn't beating, and she had no reflection.
What about her breath?
The cat asked.
I hear that vampires have terrible breath and huge butts.
I never pay attention to how someone's breath smells, so I don't know.
He said, before the two could continue talking, Leon came up to them.
As a pheasant, my olfactory cavity is the size. Whoa! What's with the clothes, Powalski? Wait.
I think it's Cat.
Oh no, this is Cat. Okay.
I was like, all right. Whoa, what's with the clothes, Powalski?
Her voice is
Listen,
mutating.
Cat's having fun with it. Shut up.
Okay. She's turning into Miranda from the Lizzie McGuire movie, I think. That was her name, right? Miranda? Anyway. Cat struggled to keep herself.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Cat struggled to keep herself from laughing at the sadistic chameleon.
Yeah, it's a sunny day.
Falco chuckled.
Looks like my drainage targets are easier to get to than I thought.
Leon sneered.
Drainage targets.
He's a vampire too. Figures.
See, that's what would have improved Dracula if he would have called his like Jonathan what's his name, Jonathan Harkwood or whatever, if he would have called him a Harkness, a drainage target.
Well, I think drainage targets is from the XXX version of Dracula.
Now, if this story doesn't have the chameleon grab somebody with his tongue and drain him,
yeah,
they blew it.
Falco thought to himself,
Indeed, I am a vampire.
Leon smirked at the couple, hinting that he used mind reading to hear Falco's thoughts.
See my head? His head? I'm tapping my head and then his head to indicate.
Falco, what do we do?
Cat whispered.
Wait a moment. I've got an idea.
The avian whispered.
Are you exchanging your last words?
Leon asked.
Wouldn't you rather scream?
You could tell that the author just like wrote that and was like, fuck yeah, this is so cool. My God.
Is this the intense badassery we were warned about in the...
Why didn't we put on our sunglasses and to protect our eyes?
Yeah.
It sounds like Leon is trying to warm the crowd up for the main act at a rock show. Wouldn't you rather scream?
I put my badassery poncho.
Let's bring out Seether! Fuck yeah! Falco stood up and punched the chameleon in the face.
Brilliant plan.
Nice one, hun.
Cat said.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Falco said as they ran away.
Lousy bird.
Leon grumbled.
Do you know how suicidal and stupid you are to make me angry?
Should have just died peacefully instead of being suicidal.
Leon ran after Falco and Cat in hot pursuit. The two weren't far from him, so that gave him a slight advantage.
But he's a chameleon. It'd take him a week.
However,
moves forward and goes back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. Moves forward.
Okay.
Sorry.
I
was
figured
doing
it would wait a while and then do it
impression on camera for you as well.
Okay,
just
just let my foolishness sink in, and
I was doing this.
Oh, okay.
I understand.
However, the couple then went into a dark alleyway.
Oh no!
Full of bats.
Do they really think that I can't see them in the dark?
The reptilian assassin said to himself,
I'm a fucking vampire, for crying out loud.
My eyes go in different directions.
But, is Leon upset at the narrator that said, however, the couple then went into a dark, like implying that it was a problem?
Walking in stuff right here.
Walking into the Walking into the alleyway, Leon saw that Cat was the only one standing there.
I take it that cowardly bird left you to die?
The chameleon asked.
Actually, I'm letting you have me. Those are the words right there. Yep.
Yep.
I'm letting you have me.
That's
Okay, but say it now slower and a little breath here.
Michael, I'm not falling for this again.
Cat
I'm
said.
not.
Cat said.
Really?
Leon was in disbelief.
Well, what are you waiting for?
The pink cat asked.
Very well, then.
The sadistic chameleon said. Taking Cat into his arms, Leon was ready to drain the pink cat.
Why?
No.
However,
Guys,
before
no, I need a break. I gotta go drain the pink cat.
Kevin, we can't say that on Twitch. We're gonna get banned.
It's the only adjective
God.
this writer knows is colors. However, before the chameleon could bite into her neck, he got punched off of her.
I hope that hurt, lizard boy.
Falco's voice rang out.
Can't believe he fell for it.
I mean, really.
It's so
Where
bad.
was
Come
he?
on.
Where was he that the chameleon who can see in the dark didn't notice him?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Yeah,
Scrunched down
the chameleon
behind
that can,
cat.
whose eyes could go in any direction. Like,
Yeah,
should be able
yeah.
to see like
That too.
180 degrees.
Maybe the
Cat
hood
said.
gives him blind spots.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Cat said.
Let's take him on.
The avian had a cocky look on his face.
Why?
Because he's a cock.
Right.
No, he's a pheasant, damn it.
Yeah, but he's a male pheasant, which makes him.
Agreed.
The cat smiled. The moment Leon got up, he was greeted by another punch to the face and a sweep kick.
Falco, sweep kick.
Oh, boom, boom.
Before he could be hit again, the chameleon rolled out of the way. Drawing his blaster, Starwolf's assassin opened fire. While he missed Cat, he managed to hit Falco in the shoulder.
Damn it!
The avian cried out in pain.
What's the matter, bird? Missing a shoulder?
Leon chuckled in triumph.
I can still fight, you bastard.
Falco said as he threw a punch at the chameleon. This is almost a drinking game in and of itself.
Falco, yeah, that's why you don't.
Strategy.
That's why you
The
don't
two-
mess with birds. They can punch so well.
Birds are known
heavy,
for
heavy
fighting.
fists.
Vietnamese pheasants are known for their punching ability. I guess Leon versus Falco, it's living up to its chapter title. At least.
Well, the Vietnamese pheasant actually defeated Sonny Liston. Just so
He was robbed in
That
the
got the
7th
peck
round,
off his
man.
ear.
The two rivals engaged in another fist fight. However, Leon was winning due to Falco being injured. You'd think Leon would be a little injured after getting punched like 7 times. The chameleon giggled, knowing that his victory was near. Cat watched in horror, knowing that her boyfriend was going to die.
Hey, lizard lips.
That was Hey Lizard Lips, she said it.
Okay, she said, distracting Leon from killing Falco.
Come after me.
Cat then walked out of the alleyway with Leon behind her. The moment Leon stuck his face out of the alleyway, he was met with a few burns from the sunlight.
What?
Man, you sure are gullible.
Falco laughed.
Be quiet, bird. Your death shall be granted now.
Leon shouted in pain, the sun's light burning his skin. The chameleon threw a couple of punches, but his avian nemesis dodged every attack that he threw at him. Grabbing his arm, Falco put Leon in a headlock.
You fool! I can feed on you by biting into your arm.
Leon said.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
Falco smiled.
Let go of me.
The chameleon snarled. Cat entered the alleyway.
We'll let you go when you tell us why you are a vampire.
Very ontological demand.
I just feel like it makes everything better.
You're the one making this difficult.
That's not going to happen.
Spitfire said Leon Sphinx, which I think is a good. Oh my God, what happened to Tracy? I just popped over there. Jesus Christ.
That was hard to do. Data law said that.
Oh, sorry. I was glancing super fast. I did not mean to miss.
Quote from the chat to other people.
Shit. Now I got shamefaced and forgot which line we were on.
Not going to happen.
Oh, that's Leon said as he threw Falco off of him.
Damn, he's persistent.
Falco said, the pain in his shoulder getting worse.
What shoulder? Doesn't even
the one he got shot in.
Yeah, but it's gone.
Yeah, he's missing a shoulder now.
I don't think he can really be missing a shoulder.
Yeah, I think it was an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Sometimes these anthropomorphic animals will exaggerate.
Okay.
Now then, it's time for a feeding.
The assassin laughed as he moved towards the couple, intent on seeking his teeth into them. It would appear that there was nothing else they could do. Until...
Have we tried punching?
I was waiting for it.
Is this Orlando?
Okay.
I don't know who it is.
That's you. This is Orlando Helsing.
Oh. Feed on this, unholy demon of the night.
Leon found himself being doused with holy water. In response, the
Yeah, I just want to remind you, you were doing the Wile E. Coyote voice for this guy.
Feed on this, unholy demon of the night.
Leon found himself being doused with holy water. In response, the chameleon screamed as the water burned him. The harmful substance came from a bottle that belonged to a coyote. Oh, there we go. See?
Yeah.
You will not harm an innocent as long as there are slayers like me around,
Orlando said. Farah ran into the alleyway with an iron stake.
When should I stake him, Mr. Helsing?
When I tell you to, Farah.
Orlando nodded. Incensed, Leon did a somersault over the four who were attacking him.
A somersault.
Running away, the chameleon spoke into his communicator.
Wolf, I got attacked by that bird, that cat, and that Helsing bastard.
Leon said.
Don't worry.
Wolf's voice came from the communicator.
We'll get them later. Now come on, let's go get Crystal.
Don't worry.
Makes legitimate ways of killing vampires. Iron usually works against like anything supernatural, but I'd never heard iron stakes. So.
Yeah, stakes are usually wood, but yeah, blessed iron is kind of normally a
Misha
supernatural says kind of thing. Yeah,
Misha says it's for the irony value. Okay, next section.
Yeah,
Orlando.
Sorry, Spitfire also made a good point. Don't stake him now. Wait until he gets away and warns everyone. That's the most.
Orlando stepped towards Falco and Cat.
Are you two all right?
Why does this get a section break?
I was just gonna ask that. I'm like, this is like meanwhile.
In the same scene.
Yes!
Cat said.
I take it that you're Orlando Helsing.
Falco asked.
That's the name. Don't wear it out.
Coyote so cool. Smiled.
Badass right there. That ass meter just broke. It pegged.
I'm going to say that to my teacher.
Do you think we could be vampire hunters like you?
The avian asked.
Sorry.
Orlando let out a sly chuckle.
But there isn't enough room for all of us in the vampire hunting business.
There seem to be plenty of vampires.
This is Farah.
That would be possible in the 19th century, but now it's 2140.
Farah said.
And your point is?
Orlando asked.
Anyone who isn't a vampire can be a vampire hunter.
The Phoenix said to her boss.
I'm sure lost by this.
There isn't enough room for all of us in the vampire hunting business. That would be possible in the 19th. That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
They were supposedly all over the place back then. So
it's like their badassery is punching us in the face. And we are staggered, cannot figure out this logic.
I guess we could let them do some slaying with us.
The coyote nodded.
I didn't read ahead before I read that.
Agreed.
Cat smiled.
You don't have a say in this.
But I can agree.
Yeah. Well, what are we waiting for?
Orlando said as he walked out of the alleyway.
Come on, guys.
Farah said.
What the fuck did I just do?
Falco quietly interrobanged.
Crystal's a vampire, and I'm going to have her get killed.
Don't worry. We can convince them to not hurt her.
Cat quietly said.
You're right. We just need to convince them to kill Wolf.
The avian said to his girlfriend.
Of course we do.
Cat said as she shared a kiss with the bird.
Now, come on. Let's not make them worry about us.
Yeah.
Falco smiled. Okay, they might be able to convince them to not kill Crystal, but how will Fox react to hearing that the Vixen is now a vampire? Let me know when you leave a review. Also, Starwolf is heading to the Great Fox to kidnap Crystal, but can she fight them off? What do you think should happen? When you leave a review, tell me what you want to happen next. Until next time, guys, peace.
Please tell me. I don't know. I'm out of ideas.
Why did I do this? Just because I love the phrase Cobalt Vixen so much.
Yeah.
We just finished chapter 5 out of 24.
Actually.
Oh God, this is our lives now.
You didn't tell me there were 24.
I'm really surprised that we only had like 3 Cobalt Vixens in the entire chapter, but I guess there wasn't that much Crystal.
She wasn't in it.
Yeah, she wasn't in the story for a while.
For being like in like
She was there. We got a Cobalt
she was in like 12 lines and we got 3, I think. So,
yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, join us next week for the Captured Vixen. I'm sure we'll get plenty in that chapter.
Yeah, we'll get plenty if you know. We'll swallow the bird if you know what I mean.
After the kitty, if you're lucky.
We'll drain the pink cat.
That's your new sign off. Eroding the plane. Who's heard of it? Drain the pink cat, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so remember, it
Good
all
show.
going eroding to plane. See you later, guys.
Yay.
Good job. Good.